Hey there, dirt bike people. I'm Chuck from TrueTech, and today I'm going to be checking over this 300 XCW to see if there's any engine issues. The chief complaint is that the bike doesn't have a whole lot of power. The top end was apparently done recently, but the customer feels that the bike is still down on power, and there are a series of checks that we can do on any two-stroke very quickly that will tell us a lot about what's going on with the bike. The first step is to pull the pipe. Most any two-stroke pipe will come off with 2 springs and 2 bolts. Now I'm going to get out my flashlight and I'm going to look inside the motor. I'm looking at the cylinder. It doesn't look great, but it also doesn't look like it's missing any Nikasil. Now I'm going to rotate the motor over a little bit. See, that's a Wiseco piston. It's got some scratches on it, but they look quite superficial. So overall, I'm not super impressed with the top end job, but I don't think that it's going to cause a lack of power so much that the customer will notice it. There might be something else that we're looking for here. Next step is to remove the ignition cover. That'll allow us to check the crank bearing on the left-hand side to see if there's any play. And we're also going to check the crank seal to see if there's any leaks. Bingo. Okay, that's a full stop right here. This is why I check this at every top end service that I do. You can hear the play in there. So most of the time, if there is a significant engine issue, these 2 simple checks are going to alert you to most of what's going on. If I hadn't found anything with these 2 checks, then I would have checked the carburetor, probably just turned it sideways, pulled the bowl to make sure that the carburetor wasn't green inside, and then I would probably check the reeds. I would also smell the gas to make sure that it wasn't old, although I don't suspect that that's the case here. Air filter is a simple one. This one definitely is in need of a service. Then if I didn't find anything, I might go to the power valve to see if it's actuating properly. Simple way to do that is to remove that cover and then run the bike, of course after installing the pipe, and then watch the power valve action as you bring the RPMs up and down. You can also check the spark plug if you want. I don't usually find that that really alerts me to a big problem, but these 2 simple checks are definitely the main ones. While any bike is on the bench, I give the wheels a shake to check the wheel bearings. Oh, needs front wheel bearings. I also noticed while doing that it needs a left fork seal. Well, both fork seals. While I'm in here looking, I'm looking at the brake pads, both good. Could also use a rear tire. Grip situation is a little hurting too. Throttle snaps back nicely. I don't see any damage in the throttle cable. Clutch feels good, although it's a little squeaky. Brake is a little spongy. Shock doesn't appear to be leaking. This is a non-electric start bike, so kick only. And I'm just checking the play here. There's not a huge amount of play in that kickstart, so I know that this bike doesn't have massive hours on it. So that's a basic 2-stroke check over. I took about 15 minutes checking this thing over. I've found a major problem, and I'm also going to notify the customer of the little other things that I've found with the bike. So what I'm going to do is send him a rough kind of ballpark price, and if he thinks that that ballpark price is reasonable, then I'm going to go and I'm going to price all the parts and price all the labor. I'm going to send him a quote, and then he can say yes or no. He can say, like, I don't want to do the tire now, I don't want to do the fork seals right now, whatever. He can remove anything that he doesn't want to spend money on. Or he might say that the bike is not worth fixing, and there's a decent chance of that with this one, because it's definitely going to be at least $2,000. It's probably going to be closer to 3 by the time it's all said and done. While I've been filming here, I noticed that it's missing one of these little clips. Learning how to do a quick and thorough check over on a bike is a critical part of being an effective mechanic. Customers are rarely happy when you do a bottom end on a bike and then they get it back and they find shortly after it needs something like wheel bearings. Even if they don't want to end up servicing the wheel bearings or the fork seals or putting a new tire on, it shows that you're competent and that you're thorough with your check over if you catch the little things while you're looking for the big things. I don't always catch everything, but it's a good habit to get into just doing a quick check over on the bike while it's on the bench. People really appreciate putting a little extra effort in. So if you like this video, please go ahead and let the algorithm know. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you want to see what I'm doing on a more day-to-day basis, you can find that content on Instagram. Thanks a lot for watching.